Hello, Kit heads. We are talking Kit, the home of the greatest football kit content in the whole entire world. Yes, we're back. It's Wednesday. It's time to open the doors of the Rank Bank. And let's get 10 more shirts out, or even this week, actually 20 more shirts out, and have a little ranking session. As always, I'm Double A. Yes. And he's back from gallivanting around Europe, jumping on the side of stadiums for selfies or pictures. It's that man, King Dom. What's going on, pal?
Oi, oi. Do you know what the best thing was Dan from Retro Kits FC. He was coincidentally a couple of rows behind us, and he took a picture. I was like, "Who's this knobhead? Have you got an Italian twin, or is this you?" I was like, "No, that is me."
It's me. It's me. I just look like an Italian.
But no, it was nuts.
It was good, Jack. Good. We have a good time, Dom, yeah? All good?
Yeah, mate, it was mega. I benefited from red card football, like putting a tweet out, and he's since done the same thing this week. And I'm like, well, could I go to Dortmund this weekend? I was like, no, I might be pushing it a little bit. But if you can, keep an eye on his tweets, like keep an eye on his socials, because he, at least at this point, is making an effort to source out affordable European trips. And for anyone who goes to like top flight football, it's not too dissimilar a price. So I'll be honest, although United are doing well at the minute, if it was last season, if someone said to me, do you want to go and watch United struggle to get a 0-0? Or do you want to go to St. Pauli? Do you want to go to Milan? We're like, well, all right, well, that's going to pique my interest. So give him a follow, keep an eye on his socials, and if anything, we'll do some away days, and I'm more than happy to join out with people.
That makes sense, mate. I'm up for it. It sounds good. Hopping around Europe in other leagues, you can't really beat it. I saw a tweet I saw the other day. Someone was moaning about the price of a League Two ticket to Wimbledon or something like that, and I think we're paying like £47 for a ticket.
And they went and seen 3 games or two or 3 games.
It was something. He was moaning about the price, and it cost this much. It totaled to £47 for this ticket for League Two. And this guy's come on underneath, gone, I've just paid £11 for Leverkusen Dortmund and about £16 for me ticket for me flight. I'm like, that's just ridiculous. What's going on here? £27 for a Bundesliga game, mental. But I mean, yes, if you're into it, make sure you get following and checking out some good deals. It seems like 2023 is all about the stadium hopper craze. Let's go and get on that hype. Let's jump on that hype. You may not know Sean this week. He is busy working. That's pretty much what he's told me. So he's not even ranked the shirts. I have enlisted the help of my wonderful, beautiful girlfriend, Hannah. She's ranked the shirts.
Has she really? What?
Yeah, she had a good ranking session earlier on when she came on. I helped her out. And
maybe if you'd have done that, you wouldn't have had recently a baby. So.
Well, you say that, but I like to look at it, the couple that ranks together stays together. So at the end of the day, the romance isn't dead, guys. The romance isn't dead. We'll move on swiftly anyway. So we've got Jay has obviously done his, Hannah's done hers. It's me and Dom. We've got one guest this week. And if anything, he's kind of what Dom expressed earlier on. We may get an hour show tonight, guys. It may just be an hour. Who knows? But this guy is a friend of the show. He's been on multiple times. So we probably have a lot to talk about. And, he's very expressive in his way he describes shirts. And he's a great addition to the show every single time he comes on. Recently, I think he follows certain people because his latest releases, I know he knows that I'm a big fan of the person that he's done of. You may have seen it, the fast food sort of collection he's doing. First one is obviously Ronaldo, R9, my favourite non-United United player it's testing my. I've already bought 9 shirts since Boxing Day, and then he releases this in bloody January. He's like, you know, he's testing me. It's like my daughter. He wants my daughter to not eat. That's what I'm getting from Matt. This is what I'm feeling the love from. He's saying, Aaron, she may have a dirty napper and need feeding, but I've seen this shirt, mate. I mean, long sleeve, and you can personalize it. Are you mental? Like, I don't know. Anyway, let's get him on. It's Matt from Kit&Bone. Hi, pal.
Oh, hi. Nice intro. Right? Thank you. I'm all right, thank you. I'm sorry for causing you such stress in January.
Yes, Matt.
Well, this is it. This is it.
It's just a general apology to everyone, really.
I'm used to that. I'm saying it, not receiving them. So it's a nice change. How have you been, though, mate? Everything well? I'm
all right, yeah. It's just busy, isn't it? You kind of like fall out the back of New Year and it's gone. We're going. We're like 100 miles an hour every day. But it's all good. It's good. Lots of exciting things happening. That I can't talk about, so that's great.
Have you got some exclusive that you could share with us, Matt? Do it. Fucking do it.
Well, no, I'm not going to.
He was on the verge.
I was so close. I was so close.
Wow. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Actual football kits, they are locked in. Before we get into the show, let's do the housekeeping, the usual. If you don't know, Full Kit Rankers is sponsored by Retro Football Kits, which means you can go to their website and get 10% off your orders. And yeah, if you use code Talking Kit 10, it says it right on there on the screen, you can get 10% off. I mean, it's wonderful, and it's our gift. Well, it's our gift via Retro Football Kits to you guys. So yeah, use it, do what you want with it. It's all well and good. So yeah, big up to Jay. Obviously, he's done his runs this week. I will read how he does little notes, which is great. He didn't realise. So there's a Full Kit Rankers group. He's now part of it. He didn't realise that you send your scores separately. Put it in the group. I managed to delete it, and then Don jumps in like, "Hey, I was reading them." I was like, "You're not allowed to, mate. That's the rules of the game." So, yeah, there we go. Apparently, Dom, you've got to stop yelling at someone. Adil Rashid is saying, "Stop yelling at him, Dominic."
Yeah. Fair dues.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is a kid I know, and I was in Milan with, and I'll be honest, he's cool as fuck. Adil Rashad, just an absolute top boy. Makes all of us look like fucking, not you, Matt, just me and him, look like absolute balls. And he's always going, just rein it in a little bit.
Rein it in a bit.
Yeah.
Just got to be yourself. Come on, just be you.
Don't rein it in tonight. You're fine. You can be yourself, mate. It's all good.
There's only three of us.
There is. There's only 3 of us. We need the energy up. You being sat there saying one word answers ain't going to work tonight, mate.
No, not tonight.
Yeah, be sure, if you haven't already, it's your first time talking kit, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll get into that show. I'm really excited for these 20 shirts. It's not even 10 shirts, it's 20 shirts. Picked by Dom. The theme was picked by Dom, the topic, as well as the shirts. So he's the one for all the extra homework, Matt, so you can blame him for it, not me. I'm
going to say something. I've just had a thought. So I didn't take into account at all when I was ranking these, the originals. How have you done it? What was your take on it?
So we've ranked them. I thought I put it in the email. I thought I said it. I said it in the email. We ranked them as.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I think there may be flip flops tonight.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Okay, so yeah, so we're looking at. It says it on there. I think Jackson, big up Jackson. He's saying evening, guys. Evening, mate.
Yes.
He was wondering what the theme was, because obviously I was late getting a thumbnail together, so it was just the 4 faces, and he was like, "No thumb, real retro remake." I think his head was going to explode. I don't think he knew what the hell was going on. So let me explain it. So it's 10 real retro remakes. So no score draw, no winking faces, as Dom likes to explain them. They're all shirts that have been released, and then later on, a team has re-released them with a different brand. And yeah, I think Dom's done
Yeah,
a
of
good
course.
job.
They've taken inspiration from a different manufacturer. So although you didn't have the design principle, you didn't hold the artistic rights. What you've done is you've leaned towards what they did and what was successful. So it might well be like a more common manufacturer thinking, I'm gonna hang off the coattails of success.
Yeah.
And in a lot of instances, it's done really well. Some a little less so.
Yeah, I mean, you're wearing one tonight, Dom. That was
Yeah,
done quite
and
well.
this was at least this was Adidas to Adidas.
Well, yeah.
The crossover is manufacturer-wise, someone else leaning towards another manufacturer's kind of creative influence. So that's what we've done. We've not done Adidas to Adidas. We've done cross contamination. Yeah,
cross contamination, like The Last of Us. If you've not seen The Last of Us yet, go and watch that. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I don't work for HBO or at Sky Atlantic.
No, and at least we've having Matt on as well. So I know Matt will draw influence from like well established and well founded design.
It's the essence,
yeah,
isn't it?
It's what you do with that. It's what you do to encourage the visual aspect of that. Yeah,
which is what has happened in the shirt that you're wearing tonight, Dom. That is
exactly.
It's exactly what. Even though it is Adidas to Adidas, it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's one I can think of in this list that just doesn't make any sense in my head.
Which one that is? For anyone that's tuning in as well, I hope you don't leave live. If you're watching back, I put the Arsenal banana in the thumbnail. Clickbait. It's not even in the list. So if that's why you're here, you might as well go now. To be honest with you. Someone else.
Are you just trying to make people get involved? God forbid that would happen on YouTube. Oh my!
I know. Oh no. Anyway, right. Let's get into the 10. So it's 10 teams. Obviously, they've released a shirt way back when. They've then re-released it with a different brand. Most of us, apart from Matt, have scored it as a pair.
Yeah.
But hey, sometimes this is like last week's episode. I think. Dom, I think you would have loved last week's episode. Actually, I think.
Oh mate, I watched it and I was so gutted. Like it got to the point where I was like, I'm so gutted. I was in Milan because
sounds awful.
I watched it and it was fucking mega. Obviously the Hope and Glory stuff, the Portobello, like mate, it was nuts. Loved it.
It was good. Yeah, but even in that, people had scored it. Dan was very adamant it had to be loud for it to get high up, and I think he at near the end realised he'd messed up in where he'd ranked. It was interesting, and I'm hoping, honestly, I think it'll be nice to see a few flip flops. But let's get into it anyway. Enough chat from us. Let's get straight into our 10 shirts, our 10 clubs, even because it's 20 shirts, but 10 clubs. So number 10 on our list, only 11 points this week. Not scoring very, very high. You could say this club has the rest of the list towering over them. It's Blackpool.
Mate, that is awful.
I don't even care. I'm not even bothered. You know I don't care. When it comes to that, I'm not bothered. Blackpool. So the first one we looked at was the 92 to 93 away by Gola, classical brand Gola, and very, very old badge. I'm sure it's the one with the seagull on as well. I was looking a little bit earlier on. It's got a nice little seagull on there. So that's what we looked at, the retro shirt. That was obviously, like I said, from 92, 93. And then you look over, and this is the one we brought out now for this season, 22 to 23. So you can see the clear influences that shirt has had. I'm paying homage to that. This is obviously by Puma and not Zola. Let's go through a few scores. I had an 8th on my list. The home was really nice. I think the third shirt from this season is really, really nice, especially with that alternate badge they've got of the tower. I think it looks really nice. This one for me lacks out of the 3 shirts you've got this season. I like it's thrown back to that shirt from the 90s. What, two worse than it, but I think there's a lot better in this list. For me, I'll go quickly to Jay because Jay had it. This was dead last for Jay. He wasn't a fan, and he says half-assed attempt at a remake looked tacky. Apparently. And Hannah had it 9th. So, you got 3 there in 10th, 9th, and 8th. I don't think it gets any better, to be honest, looking at the rest of the list. Matt, we'll come to you first. This was 9th on your list. What was your about this?
So I think this is the first of many on the list that suffer from a serious sponsor downgrade. In terms of the way that the logo applies to the front. If you want to just get, from a visual point of view, unfortunately, the utilita logo doesn't particularly lend itself. You cover that up and
they are like, they do lend themselves to a bit more variety.
Yeah, what in terms of their
colour schemes and stuff. They're willing to be flexible.
Oh,
and,
yeah, and
I can't fault them for that.
And I mean, you can't ever really fault a sponsor. As somebody who obviously produces football kits for people, the sponsor is like the most important person most of the time in terms of getting the kit to come to life. And so it's just unfortunate that I think some sponsor logos don't lend themselves to the front of a shirt in the same way. I think it's slightly unfortunate. I think probably I would have just considered giving it some room and some space to breathe, because I think it's where you've got life with power, with the bars behind it just isn't really helping it. But otherwise, it doesn't. And also then, so in terms of why I ranked it at that point in the list, it was because it didn't smack of the old one much, but it didn't then do enough new things to make it, kind of is like it, but isn't like it. And then it's not, it's just not quite, it's just not pushing the wheel enough for me. I like to push the wheel.
Push it, we shall. Dom, I mean, if the sponsor's black there, it adds to the shirt. I think it.
Oh, I think I agree with Matt.
It's lost on the shirt.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If the sponsor's black, it gets kind of distorted within the design. I think the fact that Utilita has gone with the orange, which matches obviously the manufacturer logo and the typical orange of Blackpool, I think that's to be commended. I think they've really nodded to like an iconic design. The block and then the kind of blurred element is indicative of what they're referencing. And I think the aspects of the original design that fell down, like the darker sponsor, this kind of re-registers or like kind of does a little bit better, because like look at that, it gets a little bit lost. And even the goalie, like obviously the manufacturer sign, it's like, well, where is it? It just looks like a Whereas I think in homage to this, they've still allowed the manufacturer, they've still allowed the club, they've still allowed the sponsor to kind of speak out.
Yeah, I hear that. No, I do hear that. I think if it had the collar, I would like to see back. If not, one thing I would have liked to have seen, just the initials are in the collar there.
Yeah.
If you just put that on the new shirt at the top, just as a little nod there, up above on the collar, I think that would have looked a lot nicer for me personally. I think I'll say you scored 8th as well, so wasn't overly thought of this shirt, but you raised some good points, and I think No, the sponsor, if the sponsor's black, I think it pops a little bit more. I don't know. But anyway, there we go. Blackpool not illuminating the list this week.
Oh my God. Mate, I think it rocks.
Yeah, you think I wrote these down, but I haven't at all. But then again, maybe I'm just an ass. Right, moving on. That was number 11 on the list. Dead last this week. We'll move on. And hey, for those fans who like a knob, we're going to get 2 out for you right now. With 16 points, I'm sorry. At 16 points, it's Newell Old Boys with their 91 to 93 away shirt. I mean, look at it. It is a beautiful template. You can't get away from that.
Yeah, that is.
That is. Yeah, that's a beautiful template. Yeah. And then we go on to their 2021 away shirt. What's gone wrong? What has gone wrong? 7th on my list. I'd say 7th. Just the 90s one really did lift that for me a little bit. 10th for Hannah, and Jay also 7th, and he said clean remake, shoulders a bit annoying though.
Who said that? Hannah?
No, Hannah said 10th. Hannah at 10th, and she just pulled a face. So like when I ask her to do anything, she just pulled her faces in to say no. And Jay said he had it 7th. He said clean remake, shoulders are a bit annoying though, which I agree with. Don, we'll come to you. On your list, you had it dead last on this one, mate. You're really not a fan.
Nope. 10th. And
10th.
just justifiably so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Not least of all is that Umbro manufacturer side massive.
Yeah.
Okay. Who you trying to get ahead of here? Like, listen, the club's the most important thing. The knob is always the most important thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
The knob is always more important.
The blatant, like the thing for me that doesn't sit too well is the blatant plagiarism. Okay, because we know the 3 stripes across the shoulder, like whether it's Liverpool, whether it's this.
Yeah.
Okay, we know that's synonymous with Adidas.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's O'Neill's, okay, we don't want to see another manufacturer even attempting to do 3 stripes. And I think, obviously, what they've done, Umbro, which are, by all accounts, my favourite manufacturer of all time, what they've done is they've just cashed in on what is an iconic kit. And, like, I had to score it quite low because of the fact that it's such a violent regard towards a previous kit. Like it's not to the point where you elaborating on a previous design. What you're doing is you're just going, no, I'm just gonna carbon copy that. Doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, I mean it's less of a reimagining of a design like the Blackpool one. It's more just an absolute knockoff of Adidas 3 stripes, which made that template.
And the fact that it's Umbro to Adidas, like at least with the previous one, it wasn't the design elements were that distinctive to the brand, whereas this is just like he's taking the piss.
Yeah. Mate, you're spot on. I think everyone agrees with you. Adil's been back on. Agree with Dom on this. Got to be last. Jax has been on. Umbro logo overcompensating in size to fool this. I mean, that Umbro logo reminds me of. Do you remember the black 3rd shirt from 98-99, Dom, for United? That was very big. That was very the same.
Oh, so
but only on the player one, wasn't it? On the.
Everton had the same one, so it was intended to be a training shirt.
Yeah,
but when they played in it, it was the smaller size, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
True. Retro's been on, Jay. I didn't think about that. 100% that's an Adidas trademark. Yeah, you're absolutely right, mate. And he raises some good points, Matt. Some you didn't agree with. I don't know if it's because of the original or it's just that you're a fan of the shirt, but it was 5th on your list overall.
So earlier when I did this, I put it really high, and then the more I look at the remake, this is the one that I think doesn't make sense. This is what I said at the beginning. So I don't understand. I don't understand why it's got the 3 stripes in it. So I sort of think, I don't know. It feels cheeky to me.
Exactly.
But then at the same time, like the original, I think isn't that like a single piece? The front of that, the original shirt.
Yeah.
So like it also allows the stripes to run off and all that sort of thing. So I just think just the way that it's kind of shoehorned into the template on the Umbro shirt as well just doesn't help itself, because it then means you've only got a really tiny little bit of those stripes coming in, and so you're not even kind of getting the full impact of what you're trying to represent. It's slightly unfortunate, really. I think I wonder how much input there was from beyond the design team at Umbro. I wonder whether there was
I could have done
additional
that.
influence there.
I could have done it.
Yeah.
But, oh my God.
But let's move on then, because it seems like Dom's gonna have a breakdown.
Let's go 8. Let's go to number 8.
Number 9 on our list, 16 points. It's the Newell's Old Boys, 91 to 93, and their 2021 away shirts. Not very liked by the panel, as you can tell, being second from bottom. Let's move on to number 8 on the list. 19 points overall, and it's these 2 shirts. The first one it's a Rangers 87 and 90 home shirt. Or 97 as Dom like to have texted me and made me get the wrong shirt. It's fine. And this obviously their 22 to 23 away shirt. Dead last for me. No, don't like Rangers. Don't really like the shirts. Hannah had it 6 on her list. Whether that was to annoy me, I can't tell you. Possibly. Jay, third on his. These were 3rd on Jay's list, and the reasons why, because he thinks both kits are classy and cool. Now, the reason why I think Jay's put these so high, I don't know if you mind me telling you this. He knows someone who works at Castore. So whether he's trying to be nice because it's a friend.
Does he know the same person that's responsible for putting the Wolves badge on upside down?
I think that was the person he knows. So no, I don't know. Look at him. He's trying to say, like me, classy and cool. I've seen you eat, mate. There's nothing classy and cool when you eat. So rein it in a bit, lad. Rein it in. That's all I'm gonna say. So there's a couple of the scores. Let's get into these 2 rankers over here. Go on, Matt, we'll start with you because it was 8th on your list, so you've got it bang on, mate, with these 2.
Yeah, that's what I don't.
Thoughts of the 2 shirts?
Well, I think they're sort of. So obviously, when you sent the original one across, the 97 one.
Yeah.
There was
that's my fault, that Matt. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favourite shirts of all time. I love that shirt.
I made sure that I blamed you, mate. Don't think I was letting you get away with
it. but this, I just think I don't think the original was incredible, and then to remake it with a less enjoyable sponsor logo on the front. It's just I sort of think that in some ways the newer shirt is nicer. I think the actual design of the shirt is nicer, but then the sponsor switch, which obviously no one's got any control over, sort of then takes it back in the other direction. I've almost got nothing to say about this shirt, which is I think probably why it's 8th. Yeah.
Nothing to say, which says it all. To me, it's. I liken it to such a subtle nod. It's like when you walk past someone in work you hate and just give them a. That's how much of a subtle nod.
You used to be good looking.
Wow, that's hurtful and also a little true. But not a fan of Stranger shirt. Cast awful. You're absolutely right. Cast awful indeed. I don't need to see your knob again. Dom, let's come to you. You had it 9th on your list, so second worst pairing of shirts. Would you have preferred 97?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. 97 was mega. 87 wasn't bad at all.
Yeah,
and the collar, that Umbro collar, which they used on a few different shirts, was nuts. If you can scope up a little bit, like that in itself is gorgeous. The little like quad pattern across the collar, nuts.
Yeah.
If they'd have lent into that a little bit more, fair enough. They did do the checkerboard pattern across the whole of the shirt, which is decent. And obviously this was one of the more successful seasons for them. So to kind of appeal to any fans, you're going to have to try and like grasp what they feel is a significant event, which at this point it was. McEwen's Lager, like, will say, oh, well, they've now got a betting sponsor, and that's really, really bad. Drinking isn't heralded as the most impressive thing. It's just more socially acceptable. But I think it's a really, really good nod. And I think the fact that obviously Castor, although they're a shit manufacturer, and the quality of what they're doing at the minute is really pissing fans off across the board. Yeah. They've kind of, if they could have executed it with a bit more quality, the kind of red lining across the collar and the cuffs and it matching, other than the abhorrent betting sponsor, it could have done really well. So I applaud them for trying at least.
You know, there's some point. I don't know about you guys, but McEwen's Lager, it's one of them sponsors that I can smell beer when I look at it. You know what I mean? I can smell it. It's one of them, like Holston Pills. I can smell Holston Pills.
Oh, for Spurs, Holston.
Just, I can smell beer.
Smell.
I don't know what it is. I don't even have any beer in the house, so it can't be me. I don't know.
I'm smelling pub carpet.
Oh, sticky pub carpet. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Hmm.
On that note, we'll move on. Number 8 on our list, 19 points overall. It's the Rangers 2 from 87, not 97, 87 to 90, and they're 22 to 23. Home shirt. Hey, this is the BBC, man. This is not the BBC. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
It sounds like it. Brilliant. Oh, that's getting clipped up, isn't it? Right, we'll swiftly move on to number 7 on our list. 23 points overall.
Do you know what? After last night, Gary Lineker goes to Danny Murphy. Well, you're a bit excited about that, weren't you, Danny? And Danny Murphy goes, no. no, I wasn't.
He's never excited, is he? Retro was saying, sack the intern. Dom, you done, mate, unfortunately. 345 is in the post deal. He's laughing his head off. I'm not sure what that one means, mate. I have no clue what that means at all. Right, yeah. So it's these two. It's the Coventry City 92 to 94 home shirt alongside the 2020-2021 home shirt. Like I say, 23 points, coming 7th on our list. I had it 6. This just screams Peter on Love. I look at it and it's Peter on Love. Has to be. 6 on my list. Hannah had it 3rd on her list. She was a big fan. It was the last set of shirts she looked at, and it jumped right into 3rd. I think it was more maybe to do with this one and the pattern she mentioned. And it's Ribeiro. What a classic sponsor Ribeiro is. And Jay let the side down on his same as Blackpool, but slightly annoying. I'd love to know why that's so naff, Jay. That'd be interesting in what you mean. That new one is so naff. Oh, it's the new one that you don't like. That's fair. Okay. We'll go through to the rest of the rankers. And Matt, we'll come to you first. It's 10th on your list. So it's dead last for you. What was it? It wasn't quite hitting the right note.
Like I said, I mean, I very much have scored the remakes.
Yeah.
So you know, there are some beautiful shirts in the originals, and I have. I mean, I struggled anyway. I think this isn't the first time I've been asked to kind of. It was when I did the celebrations show, and I had to rank. Did I enjoy the celebration or the shirt? And it's like, well, too many variables here.
Hey, what are you leading up to here? What's the fucking excuse? Are you taking a big fucking run up?
Well, and then if you look at the new one,
yeah. What of it?
So I mean, I'm not a fan. So there are some things in here. There are some design things in here that I just wouldn't do, and they're just things that personally, as a creative, I just wouldn't do. And they kind of things like fading out a pattern. It doesn't matter what I'm creating. I wouldn't do it. And then also to fade to the I mean, obviously got to fade to the shade of the home color. And then I guess that probably allows the back to be nice and plain to put the numbers on it. Yeah, and again, the sponsor logo isn't the prettiest. It's got there's a lot of letters. There's a lot of words in there. It's just a lot going on, isn't it? It just doesn't work for me. The remake doesn't work because there is just like a whole panel of something. Even if they'd had a plain body and then done the pattern as the panels and the sleeve, like do the sleeve as the whole thing. Go wild. Don't hide the thing you spent all that time and energy creating.
Yeah, I agree, because if you mentioned that, and the sleeves are actually a different colour. Obviously, they've got the chevrons. If they'd have done that pattern on there, it would have looked so much better. And I think even if it was just a plain shirt, it'd look really nice.
That's it. Without the pattern at all, it's a
one or the other. Like it. Yeah, I'm with you, Matt. And I think if it wasn't the original, it'd be bottom of my list. I think it's not a nice shirt. I agree with Jay, and he's popping in saying, the collar stops in the middle as well, which is annoying. There's no need for that as well. Is there really? Like, what are you playing at? Hummel as well. Like, normally a spot on, and they've done some amazing things coming back with Joe the last couple of years. It seems this one really may have missed the mark.
They've done some lovely shirts with Coventry as well. Coventry have had some lovely Hummel jerseys.
Yeah, absolutely. Don, we'll come to you because you had it only one place higher in 9th. Oh, no, you didn't. I'm lying. You had it in 4th place. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm shocked. So, yeah, 4th.
Dolce & Gabbana, Romeo and Juliet, Phil and Grant. Okay? These are all partnerships made in fucking heaven. Hummel and Coventry. You cannot beat. It's undefeated. Like, genuinely, the stuff that they've put out lately is nothing but exceptional, like gorgeous. The fact that this hints towards. Did you just sneeze?
I just sneezed at what you were saying.
I'm allergic to bullshit.
Yeah, well,
I think it was Phil and Grant being made in heaven.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
it set me off.
Two brothers. Yeah.
Hey, what they've done and the kind of the license that they've been given, particularly with like Coventry and Hummel, like they've been able to draw on some of the most inspirational shirts or times for what is effectively a fallen club. Like they shouldn't be that low down. Like it's abhorrent that they're that low down. They had Huckabee there at one point. Just remember that.
Okay. I've got
this. Although the cut off collar, although there's some maybe tonal issues with the sleeves, although there's a awful betting sponsor.
Yeah.
I think this for the gradient to like kind of hint towards that kind of earlier era kit. you can't. Like, I can't imagine as a fan, I'd be bothered about that. I'd be like, I'm going to get this one. I'm going to wear it with pride, because ultimately we might not have anything to be too proud about at the minute. But this harks back to everything nostalgia-wise. Yeah, the kit should be. And even even City fans for 97 Kappa, like, it's not necessarily that it means that you were successful. It was like, this is when we wanted to be part of the club.
Yeah.
That's
fair. No, I mean, you raised some good points, mate. I think what it whittles down to is a design point of view, and Matt raised some good points, which I think I would agree with. Jackson's coming, Hummel's use of the tramline designs from yesterday into today's shirts.
Oh yeah, so the more recent one is mega.
Yeah, I agree. Like I say, some of the stuff they've done. Just please, Hummel, don't bring back that brown kit. Please don't do it.
Mate, I really want to see that. I'd buy it without any hesitation.
How would you that as a picture of a bad shirt? And someone tweeted me saying, it must have been a commentary fan. Oh, it's amazing. You don't know what you're talking about. I was like, well, mate, again, I just don't like brown football shirts. And I think it looks terrible. There we go. Right, there we go then. Go on, Matt. Go on, Matt.
So Pauli,
Oh, right, yeah, no, right, okay.
Where are we at with that? Where are we?
It just looks really old, and I think that's what it is. It looks a brown. It's 70s, is it? And it's just
it didn't work with that template, did it?
No, or his hair either. His hair was terrible. But no, say Marley, I can't.
Yeah,
they're great.
Anyway.
And you look at the York City one from this season. Is a great brown kit as well.
Yeah.
I was harsh. I'll take that
You've
back.
gone flying in.
I'm rash.
Both feet off the floor.
With a false tackle, not realise what I'm trying to say. Right, there we go.
I've come running in like Graham Pole.
Number 7 on our list, 23 points, is Coventry City. 92-94 home and the 2020-2021 home shirts. Let's move on then swiftly to number 6 on our list, and we're off to South Wales. I had a little mock up there as well. I forgot about that one.
That's nice.
Yeah, this was Dom's little thing. Make sure you get pictures of them together, back side to side.
Mate, exactly. Like, why would you not want to include images? Well, this is what we're referring to.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Well, we're moving on to Swansea now, anyway, and 93-95 away, and the 2022-2023 away. Match winner on this one. Absolutely stunning. I love a match winner. Wish they'd come back. Yeah. And the one from this season, for me, terrible use of colours. 9 on my list, just not a fan at all. Yeah, sorry guys. Not even the retro one can save it, unfortunately. The best thing about it is the badge. I like the retro looking badge on the new one, and the one from the 90s as well. Hannah had this in 4th place. Big fan of orange. She is. It's her favourite colour, apparently. Jay had it, and he says almost an exact replica, which, yeah, I agree. Dom, we'll come to you. It was 7th on your list.
Yeah.
Why?
Much in the same vein as Jay had indicated. Like, I like it when we give a nod. I'm not that mad keen on blatant plagiarism. So Joma, obviously we know are a manufacturer which they need to establish themselves, or they need to find their own kind of footing. I think if they're harking back to previous designs that have been successful, then if given the creative license or freedom to do so, they will pretty much copy a design. And it's a design which, if I was a Swansea fan, I'd be like, mate, I'll fucking do it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. And so I imagine it would have gone down swell with most of them Walian kids. Yeah, 100%. I fucking love it, boy. Whereas for the actual aesthetic. It's like, whoa, this is literally, you're just stealing the design. And I'm not against it. I really like it. I find that the fact that it's that bold is encourageable. It is encourageable, but there's not anything that's going to beat the earlier design.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. I absolutely hear it. Matt, we'll come to you on it. And yeah, it was 6 on your list, just one place lower than GA had it. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this? Do you agree it's a absolute carbon copy, or?
So I would say, so I really like I love the original. I feel the idea of having an oil sponsor and a swan on the same thing, that doesn't feel quite right. But I think I love the sort of that sort of 90s softness in the way that the pattern has been created on the sleeves in the original. And it's got that sort of that paint splattered airbrush kind of like softness to it, and those lines in the strikes in it will all be quite sort of airbrushed and a bit kind of messy, and that's lovely. And then you come to the new one, and I think what Joma have done well is they've reimagined that in a modern, with a bit more of a modern take on it, I think. So I sort of I mean, I quite like it. I mean, for me, I do love bold colours. I love the colour on it. I think the thing that doesn't put it in my top 5 probably, again, is the sponsor, because that just doesn't look very nice. And as I said originally, you can't bemoan a sponsor, but I think that lets it down a bit. I'm surprised that it doesn't rank higher on other people's lists, really.
Yeah, sorry about that, mate.
It's all right. That'll be fine.
So there we go. Number 6 on our list, just missing out on the top 5. Swansea City and the 93-95 and 22-23 away shirt. Bumping up and going into the top 5 now. 5th place, 30 points overall. I'm quite sad this isn't higher, I'm afraid. This is Jeff United, all the way to the J League. 93-95 away shirt, and the 93-95 and their 2022 home shirt. Look at it. That for me is amazing. Like the Sega sponsor, Mizuno, J League, like Matt says, bold colours. It's a piece about that one, and I like the reimagining. I like the way they've gone a little bit more with the pattern. The sponsors on there, you could say maybe a little bit too much, but that's to be expected. But no, wonderful. Second on my list, it had to be definitely in the top 3. And this is a grail for me. This is what a shirt I would love to have in my collection for sure. So that's why I've ranked it so high. 7th on Hannah's list. I think the Sega sponsor was kind of the big draw for her. She fancies Sonic, if you didn't know. 8 on James. He said too many details on the new one and more sponsors, so a bit of an eyesore. Which I can understand that, but it's still, if you're judging the two together, you need to be high up on the list, I'm afraid. Dom, it was 6 on your list. Do you kind of agree with Jay? The new one is a bit more out there than the original.
Yeah, and I think it's not necessarily that's to be lauded. It's just the fact that it's so far like removed.
Yeah,
because it's kind of like they've gone, oh well, what we'll do is we'll make it like really segmented, or like we'll make it a little bit edgier. That it's at least an odd, but we still want to be our own shirt, and I can't fault Hummel for doing that, because you can't do a carbon copy. What I really do like is the fact that the sponsor is within the same sphere. They've got still the same blue background and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. I don't know anything about FE, whatever the rest of it is, but or whether or not their normal branding is that kind of blue. But it just seems to kind of tie in with the same kind of Sega blue, which
the same colorway. Yeah,
I've got a lot of time for. What I don't like is the additional sponsors on the collarbone. If you've got a clavicle collar, like a clavicle sponsor, you're not doing well enough. if what they're doing is going, listen, on parts of the body, we can sponsor your tibia, your fibia, or your clavicle. She's like, I don't want to hear it.
You don't know. Clavicle's maybe the in thing in Japan, mate, and that's why they put it there, because everyone's looking at your clavicle.
It's such a sexy bone.
I mean, yeah, it is.
Matt, you know what I'm talking about.
Shout out to Hard Design and Prints. Looks like a McDonald's staff uniform. It looks more like Ronald McDonald than McDonald's staff.
Mate.
If you're gonna go that way about it, and they come back in, way too much going on in the remake. I hear that, but I'm gonna have to let Matt say everything I can't say right, because
Matt, what are you doing?
He agreed with me. Second on the list had to be Matt. Tell them that they're all wrong and this is amazing, please.
So this for me is where, so right, when like Hollywood gets hold of, remember Spider-Man, and he's there in his little blue and red costume, yeah, and it's got like a simple spider pattern on it. It's there in the comic, and you go, oh, that's kind of cool, isn't it? And then it's got to be simple so they can draw it again and again. And then he's in the cartoon that some of us would have watched when we were children back in the sort of mid to late 80s, early 90s, whenever it was on. And then Hollywood comes along and goes, get this, CGI. What we're going to do, that web pattern, that's going to be 3D all over. But it's not just that. Then underneath, it's got like a sort of its own, like, octagon, hexagon, whatever pattern it is underneath. That's underneath that. And it's all just, there's layers on layers on layers, and there's shapes, there's new shapes, there's new bits of material, paneling, and that's what it is. It's the original comic book versus the Hollywood remake.
White, yeah.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's lovely because it's got all the nods. I mean, the only thing it's missing is actual Sonic on the front of that new one. I mean, I even love the the Japanese characters in the sponsors on this one.
Yeah,
I'm all in for the clavicle sponsors. It's just more of the same loveliness.
Absolutely. So Tobey Maguire meet Tom Holland. That's what we're the simplest way possible. That's the best way to put it.
Yes. And when he's got that slick back hair, and he's like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
lovely. I mean, it's beautiful. The original is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I just think that it's almost like, because I'm going to say with my comparison, I'm not saying the comic book is any lesser than the Hollywood. Absolutely. They're just both beautiful in their own right.
I fully agree, mate. Absolutely agree with
what I'm here for. I'm here for this, and whatever I put first, I can't remember now.
You're.
Oh no, I remember.
Right, there we go then. So it is Jeff United from the J League coming fifth on our list. 30 points overall. Should have been higher. So beautiful. Pair of them, absolutely gorgeous. Let's move on then. Number 4 on our list. 4 points. A little nod picture again. I'm forgetting which ones I've got, to be honest with you. Little nod there. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. Right, let's move on. 93 to 2022. Number 4 on our list, 34 points. It's the LA Galaxy. And their 1997 home and their 2021 to 22 away shirt. They changed the colours. Nike obviously making the original, and Adidas, which obviously sponsors the whole league, MLS, making the away. It was third on my list. I just think Jeff are better, but I think this is done really well. I mean, that is beautiful, even with the LA Galaxy on it. But this looks cleaner. I just think it obviously, you know, more modern technology and fabrics being used and everything like that. I could live without the sponsor, but you know, I think other than that, it's absolutely beautiful. I think it's really nice. And I don't really like Galaxy like that, to be fair. Moving on through the rest of our rankers, Hannah, Jay, this was number one for Jay. It's probably why it may have got so high. It's number one on the list, and he says, a great design executed two different ways and both stunning. I agree. I absolutely agree with that, mate. Matt, we'll come to you first on this one because it was fourth on your list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love this shirt. When it came out in particular, I just absolutely loved it. I love the honey sleeve sponsor. I love the way that they kind of had the black and white in the badges and the mono badges and stuff on that on the new one. Obviously, the original. I think the original that era. You know, we all know that anyone who knows who I am knows that I like my MLS kits.
Yeah.
And you know, that era of MLS shirt was just, you know, Nike they just absolutely won football shirts at that point for me over there. And I have seen somebody, one of the people sort of that's in my sphere of what I see on my feeds. They had the new one, and they'd taken off the Herbalife, and they'd put the original Galaxy name across the front of it on the new one, and it just was like, it was beautiful. What you know, it was like, oh, that you've completed it. Well done. That's it. Yeah, wow. I love this one's lovely, and I think, and again, this is one that the authentic version really, we see it a lot, don't we, with the MLS kits? The authentic one is just a billion times better than the sort of the replica ones. But this is lovely with the cuffs and everything. It means that the nod to the collar is better and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think if you had, what would you choose? If there's a question to you both, what would you choose? If somebody said to you, you can have the original or you can have that in the authentic, what would you take?
All day.
I've got to go Nike.
All day.
I've got to go Nike. Yeah, I think it just screams Beverly Hills 90210. Them kids wearing it. I said it to it was Tom. El Clasico Kits obviously did a Island Kits.
Tom's an absolute fiend.
Absolutely mad for him. And we spoke about them shirts looking. They just remind me of them 90s TV shows. The kids wearing it with a big baggy jeans and a pair of Jordans, and it just being tucked in. It screams 90s. I love it. I absolutely love it. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm a big fan. Like I say, third on my list. Don, we'll finish off with you then. Still your top five. So you had it fifth overall. Anything? Was it more the retro version compared to the newer one that won it for you, or which way was it kind of leaning?
No, well, it was obviously the retro version was a preference, but I think the more recent version was like a really like considerate nod to it. Yeah. Like a really respectful nod to it. Like it was, although we're gonna copy certain elements, we're gonna do it in a way in which is considered. So I think that kind of reserved nature. If they'd have gone above and beyond, then it might have been considered a bit more, but they didn't, and they didn't need to be fair. It is a really, really nice nod. I think what pissed me off a little bit was the neck itself was a carbon copy. But on the whole, yeah, you can't really grumble. Decent.
But then there is someone who did it better than both of these two. I think Matt knows exactly what we're talking about, don't we, Matt? Hey?
Oh, look at that.
Yes,
it is missing a lightning strike, isn't it? That's
that. It'd be a next level. Obviously, Matt's
not
on the version.
Exactly. The lightning stripe is indicative of
it's amazing.
Kits that have been beyond that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Never mind, Dave. Next time.
I don't like all the fucking stars around the badge.
I'm quite into that.
I don't mind it. I like it when
it's overkill. It's overkill. No, I don't like it.
Fair enough, so there we go then. LA Galaxy 4th on our list. 34 points overall. We're getting to the nitty gritty now. Third place, 36 points on the list. And someone's going to be very upset, unfortunately, with this one only finishing third. Oh, sorry, another picture. I knew it. Kobe Jones wearing the old and the new. He's not aged a day, has he? Look at him.
No, he hasn't, has he?
No.
It's like they sent the shirt back in time.
Kobe Jones.
Yeah. Kobe Jones.
Wowzers.
I love it. So there we go. Right, third on the list. 36 points overall. Sorry, Dom. It's the Charlton Athletic 91-92 away. And 22-23 third shirt. Obviously, Admiral making the original. And Castor. No, he slagged Castor off, right? And he still put him number one in his list. Dom, talk to us. Why was this number one for you?
Mate, look at it. Literally, look at it. Like, I don't like a throwback when it's a carbon copy. I like it when it's like, it's a nod, it's a suggestion to when times were better. Like, I kind of like looking at pictures of me when I was better looking. Because it kind of leans itself to, all right, well, back then, you and I, both of us, you were decent. As I imagine, a lot of Charlton fans will like look at this. So I think the fact that what they've done more recently is the construct of a normal kit. They've not just gone Admiral, Charlton, Woolwich, on Castor, Badge, and whoever the fucking sponsor is. They've not gone, we're going to do a carbon copy.
Yeah.
They've done an element of the Charlton badge, which is the best element, which if you are going to simplify it, that sword, nuts. The sponsor itself is a kind of sponsor where we look at and we revere like old, like French clubs, like Monaco and all these others, and go, oh, those old sponsors. You remember them where they were completely oversized, and we love it. We're like, oh yeah, we love it. And this, we look at it thinking,
version of that, yeah.
And Castor, obviously, it's not too well revered, and rightly so, because they get a lot of shit wrong. But I think this, when compared to the original, which I'm hoping you're going to show a picture of, I just fucking love it. Oh my God. Mate, how can you not like that? Look at it. You can clearly see the inspiration. You know it's not carbon copy. It's doing something beyond the pale of the norm.
So, John, it's like I get it a lot these days. It's like when someone says you look exactly like your dad, but obviously you're not your dad. So
if my dad was sexy as fuck, I'd be like, oh yeah, please, yeah, tell me, look, if that was your dad, you'd be like, well, fair enough.
My dad is a sexy bastard, to be fair. So I mean, I can get away with it.
But yeah, like genuinely, I think it's the perfect combination of a throwback, because
I hear it.
It's not a carbon copy. Like obviously the design itself lends itself to what was previously on offer, but it's done so with more modern elements. And even if it's just within the centralization of the badge, which what they've done with the actual badge is reduce it to one single element, which for I'd imagine any Charlton fan is the most prominent and most significant element of the badge itself. if you're gonna do that, then make it about the sword.
Absolutely. No,
I've genuinely got nothing bad to say about it.
No,
Love it.
I love it, and I think outside the Premier League or big leagues in general, I think these lower league EFL teams are coming out with some absolute stunners. I mean, we talk about that Port Vale away from this season, which was widely loved. And Bristol, I think Bristol Rovers away as well this season. One thing I'm annoyed about, not this shirt, but the fact Charlton didn't wear this at Old Trafford the other week. I would love to have seen this in the flesh.
Yeah.
Under the lights as well. It looked a lot better than that white kit they wore.
And I think with the images that we've had to score off, this for me is the ultimate depiction of a real retro remake.
A reimagining. Yeah, I hear it. Jay had it. Where did Jay have it? Jay had it 6 on his list, but then all his notes were very positive, very different take on the inspo, but still pretty cool. I mean, I think if Jay was there, he'd probably flip flop on that. I think he might put that higher.
Yeah.
Dom, someone you're going to be a big fan of. Hannah had this number 1. She had number 1 on her list. He's giving you he's raising the roof.
Yes, thanks, Hannah.
And yeah, I mean, I had it. Where did I put it on mine? It was 4th on my list, so it was in the top 5. And I think the 3 I put, I had it. I just had to. But I do love it. I love the original. I love this. We'll come to Matt. Matt, you had it 7th on your list.
Oh, that's good. I thought I had it last for a minute then.
No, not quite.
I've enjoyed Dom talking about that.
Yeah.
I could probably, I feel like I could.
Matt, has that maybe kind of influenced your decision a little bit?
Yeah, so I think, I think I probably would put that higher now. I really enjoyed your enthusiasm for the different elements. I'm not mad on the stack, the way the stack works visually. I think it's quite narrow. I think it's like when Spurs have stacked their logo. There's not enough width in things.
No, absolutely not. No.
So it doesn't really work. But I think if they would have gone, I don't know. I mean, if they'd have gone wild and just put the Castor logo on the sleeves rather than on the front, and you just give the sword some room to breathe or something like that, because it's all a bit.
Matt's talking like Nike USA tackle.
Yeah, that's it. And then just put the sleeve patches where you want. Don't worry about that. They all look like. Did you think the sleeve patches on? I'm just going to go off topic completely because we've all got loads of time, right? It's not late. Did you not think that those sleeve patches looked so much like the late 90s, early noughties Football League patches? We're talking about Football League Club. It's fine. Like the nationwide. Do you remember those rectangular nationwide?
Yeah.
Sleeve patches? And I thought. Absolutely. I couldn't believe that a World Cup had sleeve patches that just look like something that I don't know. It's just anyway. Moving back to this kit that we're all talking about and everybody's really interested in, not least of all me. I think this is a lovely example of where they've got that. They've got that panel on the front. That's beautiful, isn't it? They've done we talked about the Coventry one, and they've faded it out, and it's like this is just the confidence to go. Well, we've created this, so let's just run it. And then the sleeves in contrast, and I could imagine a lot of people wanting to wear that.
Mate, fucking gorgeous, and that itself would work across a number of. Obviously, if Castor were a more prominent manufacturer, they we'd be talking templates. This would work well. If Castor provided for City, I know full well, one of my best mates, Dan Crompton, he'd be going, I fucking love this for City. Fucking love it. And they would do.
Shout out Dan Crompton though, because he's just subscribed to the channel, mate. So he's up there.
Mate, he'd be all over it. And obviously, City have had a centralised badge this season, but this is the kind of thing where it would be applicable to a lot of other clubs.
I agree. I fully agree, mate. Yeah, you're right. Well, it's designs like this that hopefully get Castor out there, and a bit more notoriety and people trusting their designs and stuff. And obviously, It's a good thing that they sewed it upside down, stabbing the S, which is pretty good. We never know.
Probably stabbing the S.
We've all had this. Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
But there we go. Third on our list, 36 points overall. Charlton Athletic, 91, 92 away, and the 22, 23 third. There they are both together. Looking stunning. Let's get into the top two then. And beating the Charlton one just by 2 points. I was quite shocked this was so high up, to be fair. But, I mean, it deserves to be. They are two really nice shirts. This is the AS Roma 98, 99 and 2021 third shirts. Going from Diadora to Nike. Fifth on my list, middle of the road. For me, I may get this first. This is the only example I think, maybe Jeff is close, where the remake is better than the original. I'm not a big fan of that. The Lapetto saves it for me down the sleeve, the taping. This for me is a lot better. That's why I've got it fifth on my list. Who else had it where? Hannah had this second on her list. She was a big fan of this.
Do you know what I'm beginning to realise? Hannah's got a lot more sense than you have.
Hannah's got what?
A lot more sense than you have. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just true. That's just true in life. That's not even just about football. To be fair. But then again, she's with me, so how much sense has she actually got? Maybe think about that. She's nodding. All she can do is nod now. She can't say anything else. Jay had it in fourth, and he said Roma so fire, just missing the petals on the sleeve of the remake. I think if it had lapetto on the sleeves, you look at the number one shirt. I think on the list. I don't know if you've seen the Adidas ones that have come out. All three look absolutely stunning. Really good. Adidas, why can't you be like that for Manchester United? Why do you have to do this? Right, moving out through the list. I mean, you both had it neck and neck, to be fair. You both had it third. Is anyone keener than the other to speak on them? Or
come on, I'll leave you to it, Matt.
I'll talk about it. I mean, I think this. I loved this shirt when it was out. I think it was a really. It felt really bold then, didn't it? Like, you know, even without it being a remake, it felt so. It felt like a real sort of statement, and I love that panel down the side. I think Nike use that sort of thing quite a lot, don't they? Yeah, but it's more because it's more of an animal print on that one.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
and it's just so.
It's linked to what?
What is it? I don't know. Yeah, and you sort of see it. And it's. Was this the year they did everything? One of the years they did like trainers, and there was like you could get.
Yeah, of course. It's linked to like the Nike Air Max 1.
It's the pattern on the. It's the pattern on the. Yeah, isn't it? That's what it is, isn't it? Yeah. There we go. It's just lovely, and it's used in the balance of how much they've used of it as well. Is really beautiful, and you know they've sort of that is the template, and they've gone well. We're just going to mix it this way, and it just works, doesn't it? I think I mean the sponsor is a little bit. It's a bit. It's just not going to be it's never going to be a classic sponsor, is it? It kind of, you know, it's tidy enough. I think the other, you know, the other badge might have been stronger. There was sort of you could start to pick at it and go, but we could do this, could do that. But it's just lovely, isn't it? And then the original, then you kind of go, well, that's full on of its era, isn't it? It's got, you know, it's got logos down the sleeve, it's got panels down the side, it's got a massive great collar, it's got that bit in the middle that just makes you kind of go, yeah, yes please. And then and their sponsor, you know, that's the INA sponsor is sort of synonymous with them as well. And Diadora, tick. It's good, isn't it? It's all right, that.
It's lovely. It's lovely.
100%.
Yeah, Dom, you third for you as well, mate. You know, is it all roads leading to Rome for this one for you?
100%. The thing is with this for me is like the best example of like what the like modern iteration of it was, and it still being like a good shirt on its own, like cellular, if it is that you compartmentalize it and it's like, well, this is still a good shirt and it's a nice colorway, it's a good combination. And although it's not typical, we can still kind of get behind it. But then when you couple it with what it's in reference to, I'm just like, oh my God. And then like the fact that it's like I'm a bit of a sneakerhead as well. So like Nike Air Max had like they've got like a safari print with like Air Max ones and stuff. And it incorporates stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God. And I didn't realize until more recently how much I really, really like this shirt. And I'm like, I need to fucking get it. It is, and then when it is that you go, all right, well, I kind of like that shirt anyway. But then when you see what it's taken inspiration from, I'm just like, for me, this is easily like top 2 compared to like what we've done previously this week. When you look at 1 compared to 2, I'm just like, oh my God. And it's done in such a sensitive manner. Like they could have ripped it off completely. They could have done. They've still stayed true to the elements of what that is and what would appeal to like Romanistas. But it ties in so well with so many like Nike elements and stuff like that. I was like, well, you've fallen on your feet massively. And they brought out like a range, didn't they? I was like, oh, well, yeah, you've fallen on your feet. But I think I've not got this, but I definitely fucking want it. Really want it, like really badly. And I can't say more for it than that. I really can't.
It's really nice. I would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit of the sort of deep maroon red somewhere on it. It's just missing that maybe.
Where though? Where? Because the original design doesn't hint towards it. So if we're taking reference,
it's got on the collar there, yeah, around the trim and the collar.
All right. Well, that is minuscule.
I'm just saying. I mean, it would have been nice, just an extra bit. So if you're talking maybe a little bit of a trim on the sleeves, maybe there you could put a little bit.
Or like a match to kit. Yeah.
A border around the Nike tick. Just something. Maybe just a little nod added in. It would have just, a little bit of cayenne pepper.
I don't think it needs it. I don't think it needs it.
I'm just saying it. Well, there we go. Second on our list this week. It got very, very high. 38 points overall. AS Roma, 98.99, and the 2021 third shirts. Doing really well on our list, and rightly so. 2 beautiful shirts in their own right, as well as taking inspiration from each other. So that means we've got 1 shirt or 2 shirts left, 1 club left. 44 points overall. Only 1 person had it outside the top 2. Probably a lot of you are going to say Dumper after you find out who it is. I'm joking. It was Hannah. I'm in trouble. I'm on this couch. She had it 5th on the list. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful shirt.
Matt, you and I got to go somewhere else. It's fine. Lead into it, mate.
Yeah. I've got eyes on me. I'm struggling. Stuttgart, he said almost an exact replica plus the shirt is amazing. It's Stuttgart from 97.99 away. They did they had it again, but with a different sponsor, but we've gone for this one. And their 2022-23 away shirt. I mean, it's absolutely. I mean, it's just beautiful. I'm so happy it come first because, it's just beautiful. It's an absolutely beautiful shirt. Top on our list, number 1 for me. Jay had it 2nd, Hannah had it 5th. Was the reason why I put it 5th? No, she said it's basic. Well, I don't know if she's talking to me there or talking about the shirt. We'll go on to the rest of the rankers. Dom, it was second on your list, mate.
It was. It was.
What stopped it from getting number one for you?
Well, what was my number one?
Well, it was Charlton, but the reason why Charlton was and this wasn't, so I'm just asking why this wasn't. It's simply
So, because at the very least, and this is not by any means to disparage what Jayco have done, Charlton tried something a little bit different, a tiny bit different, okay? And I cannot commend them enough for doing so. What Jayco have done with this, so I've had the 1998 Stuttgart shirt, the triangular sponsor. What's it called? Grooting with
group.
Easy for you to say.
At least you didn't even try.
I've had that, mate. I've had that, and one thing that strikes me massively is that anything where you're looking to hark back to not only like better years or like a better kit or anything like that, you're looking at like thinking, oh, well, what design elements can we reference? What they didn't do is they didn't go Adidas central manufacturer. Obviously, Stuttgart badge stays in the same. But one thing that for me, like I really fell in love with was the fact that the Göttinger Group sponsor on the original shirt lent itself so well because of the like triangle. Was that they were like, oh, at this point it's Mercedes. And it left itself open. Fucking hell. Look at it. It's just like, oh God. Like I really wanted, like in the first instance, the space to be there. I was like, oh no, it is nuts. Like I don't get it. Like I think it's fucking amazing. The fact that we all like look at this and we're like, yeah, that's a decent kit. And it was a bit of a later kit. Like we were used to these kind of kits like earlier on in the 90s. But obviously Stuttgart were like trying to chase the tail a little bit and was like, oh, in the 98. But I think for me, the one thing that elevates this kind of throwback, and Jayco have done really, really well, particularly with the collar. Like they've done really, really well. But the one thing that sets, oh my God, I see, honestly, and it hits every time. Like I feel like a little bit horny about it. The thing that hits me is the fact that the original sponsor would be like this. The existing sponsor is kind of still like this. And I'm just like, mate, it is fucking nuts. Love it. Absolutely.
I don't know if you can see, but do you know it's actually got the badge really faintly in the whole of the shirt? It's absolutely.
Oh yeah, like the original shirt.
Yeah, it's honestly,
mate, it's nuts. It's nuts.
It's up there as my favourite from this season. It has to be. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. So obviously, I fucking love it.
Obviously, Matt. If there's anything else left to say, you had it number one on the list alongside me, rightly so. It had to be. These two shirts had to be number one, right? They just had to.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's the only one out of all of them that has had a sponsor upgrade, and the original sponsor was great. It's the only one that's gone. They've gone. Well, let's just Dom's done all this. I don't need to do it again. Don't need to make the noises again. It does that. The only thing I would say about it is that the collar, like a sort of, it's the same. So that sort of has the three stripes in it, which that was the only thing that I sort of thought with it when it came out, was like, oh, that's got three stripes in it. It's funny. But yeah, perfect. I mean, I told you, Aaron, didn't I? Before we came on, I told you a little story about my holidays. I've got they're kind of my crush club. Like whenever they bring out a kit, it's just he's gone. He's had it. They're just like all of their kits. Their kits just they're all perfect. And like I said, I was on holiday a few years back, and there was this fella that just kept wearing his shirt around the pool, and I kind of like everywhere he went, it was like, what's that shirt again? And like I must have just looked like such a weirdo. Like,
he's looking at me again.
He's looking, that fella. What's he doing? It's like, Stuttgart shirt, isn't it? It's lovely.
Yeah.
So yeah, really nice.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, and rightfully, I think, like I said, had to be number one. I've saw it this season, fell in love with it, managed to grab one. I'm so happy I've got one. The original would be nice as well.
Can I ask a question about the new one?
Go for it, yeah.
Because I've not held one.
Yeah.
Is the badge sublimated into the front, or is it heat sealed on?
It's heat sealed on, mate.
Is it? I thought it would have been. No, sorry, not the badge. So the sponsor, the sponsor, the Mercedes sponsor.
No, Mercedes is. It's weird, It's like it's printed on. It's not printed into the shirt. It's like it's printed on.
Really, yeah. So it'll just be like
really,
it'll be
yeah, it's really, really nice. Really, really
oh,
nice.
Nice. Thank you for picking up.
Happy to fondle it in front of you, mate. It's all good. So there we go. Then we got there. Number one on our list this week, 44 points overall. Really did well. Is the Stuttgart away from, which one did we go for again? It was the 97 to 99 and the 22 to 23 away shirt. I mean, perfectly done. I loved it. So yeah, thank you very much for sticking by us and watching us through what was a chaotic show. I think it's been a bit wild, fun, and enjoyable, I have to say. We'll be back again next week, I am sure. Tom, thank you so much for joining us, mate. We missed the end of the match, which ended 1-1, if you don't know.
Wow.
Yeah,
yeah,
nice one, Matt. Yeah, nice one.
Sorry, it was 1-0 when I signed in.
But
Dom, so what's going on, mate? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to tell the people before we go?
No. Other than wanting to get people on, enjoy ourselves, and we've got such a stellar lineup. We're benefiting from people within the community that them sharing their opinions on what they feel are good or not.
Yeah.
Is untold. We've got such a good lineup coming up, and I can't wait to share it with people. Yeah,
it's absolutely mad. Yeah, and then you need props, mate. You've gone out and you've sourced all these guests. It's big thanks. Part of the dream team. I'm loving it. But yeah, look out for it. Like say, booked up all the way through to March and that. Like it's mad. It's mad,
mate. Up until April.
Even better.
We've got some stellar guests. There'll be content creators, there'll be designers, there'll be people who are selling in the community, there'll be people who are just a good presence in the community. That they'll be nuts to get on, nuts.
And by the end of the day, me and Dom are still better, so they'll just have to know the place, won't they? That's all that matters.
And then obviously there's still us. And then look at Matt. We still get guests on like Matt.
Yeah, I know, mate. I love it when Matt. I love it when Matt.
I do extend the show by about half an hour though, so I apologize.
If anything, you've cut it down by about 15 minutes. Let's be honest.
I've done well this time.
But yeah, Matt. I mean, again, like I say, you're one of my favourite people in the community, and I'm so happy you've.
Thanks.
Not just his.
Oh, thanks both of you. Cheers.
Right, it's not a competition, mate. It's not 11 or each versus 3. But no, mate. Tell everyone what's going on because it's really exciting. I did a bad job and butchered it before, but you can obviously do.
I feel like there's a million and one things going on. So let's start with right now. Kind of got the first part of a 3-part series. Going on. I'm sort of you alluded to it. I just it's just a celebration of one of the greatest players of all time, kind of collection of shirts worn by the original Ron, R9. And I've just kind of basically delved back. I want to take it on a journey where we kind of go through and just celebrate the best, some of his best kits. Part one is starts off with that the classic black and grey hoops, but in true sort of Kit&Bone style. It kind of I kind of take football and the beautiful game and things we love, and then I kind of juxtapose it with popular culture and just kind of do that with them until we kind of get something that kind of comes at the end. And I've always thought that the McDonald's uniforms looked like that Interkit, where they've got like the grey and the green stripe hoops, and then and it all sort of fell out there. So anyway, so if anybody hasn't seen it yet, I doubt they haven't, because it was kind of all I talked about for about 3 days. Go and have a look. It's quite good fun. There's lots of fun things in there, and it's a theme. It's an idea, and it's a true Kit&Bone piece because it's just nice and arty.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I love the fact that he referred to that as a true Kit&Bone piece.
There you go. Yeah. It's very.
And I wasn't lying. I said it on the socials. It is the wallpaper on my phone.
There it is.
Yeah. Had to be done. It's absolutely unreal. I love it. Make sure you go check out Kit&Bone. He's got some amazing stuff lined up, let me tell you. But that's it from us. We are done for another Full Kit Rankers. Whew, yeah, that was a good one. We have got another Full Kit Rankers coming next Wednesday, obviously. And we have another Desert Island Kits coming out on Monday as well. I sat down with Jay from Retro Kits, and he showed me five shirts from Retro Kits, 5 of his own shirts, which we're going to get into, which is really, really fun. If you haven't seen any of the other Desert Island Kits, make sure you go and check out the channel. We've had some good conversations. Mick Clifford, we've had Sam SH shirts, Tom El Classico, and the latest one was Jake's shirt. Really good conversation again. If you haven't, it's your first time talking kit, smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel. Come on, let's do it. Let's have a go and get us up there. And we'll be back very, very soon with more kit content for all you kit lovers. But as always, signing off. The only thing we have to say, just always, whatever you do, just make sure that you keep talking kit.